Hello, everyone. As you can tell, I finally figured out how to make myself a PNG VTuber. I finally figured out how to make myself a PNG VTuber. But that is beside the point right now. What I want to do is just watch a simple video, we'll record it and upload it to YouTube. So, we're going to be watching how to bake a possessed cake. I made a few possessed cakes in my life. Yeah, and I would say, yes, you should also add the cucumber from the 18th Dark Dimension, and or to give it its more proper name, Rahun Anion. But with that, yes, I love cucumbers in my cakes. Cakes. What you gonna do? Fight me about it? I'm a PNG. I'll give you these paper cuts. Either way it goes, let's get right into the video, shall we? Clickety clack, we are back.
So it's been a long time since I made a making of video, but I'm back. So this is kind of a mix between a making of and a behind the scenes, and smush them together, and you get a making of the scenes.
Okay, I really like this
So
person
first off, we
because
have the fourth dimension of darkness,
the fourth dimension of darkness.
which, as you probably guessed, is a miniature set that I composited myself into. This is where the set would be if I had it here. It's up on the shelf.
Oh,
Here is some footage.
but yeah, I was gonna say I really like this YouTuber. He's right up there with Meat Canyon and Lumpy Touch, and my I would say creepy YouTubers, strong air quotes. It's because I just love their content so much. I don't know why. I literally watched an relatively newer movie earlier today. It was called Imaginary. Yeah, and I don't know spoilers for the people who haven't seen it. So it was really good, and yeah, I just really loved the movie. But either way it goes, clickety clack.
Of it. So I built the structure for the set out of foam board and glued it all together with a hot glue gun. And once I had this, I then went about coating the base structure in air-dried clay. But once the clay dried, it actually cracked a lot more than I expected.
A little bit more cracked than I'd have liked.
You should moisturize, but no matter.
Moisturize.
So I got some building sand and mixed it with PVA glue.
Sand.
And I filled in all those
Sand.
cracks. And then once dry, I painted it, mostly with an airbrush, and then I added some little crispy foliage. So then to actually film the model, I darkened out my office, got the haze machine out and some RGB lights,
Haze.
and then this is the
The R-
footage that
the
I actually
LGB
got
lights.
from the camera.
The LGB lights. Actually, I thought at one point I could be like a filmmaker. This is why I like videos like this. Just the behind the scenes and how he did it. That I what I was about to say. I wanted to be like the next Michael Bay. Shout out to the Transformers movies. I am okay with the franchise and everything, but it gets a little convoluted after like I want to say the third movie. Yeah, and I kind of fell off after a while, but Michael Bay, still a good director. Love him.
And after dropping a
Hmm.
digital background in and doing a bit of colour grading, this is what I was left with. So then I green screened myself and dropped that in. And there we have it, the fourth dimension of darkness. The best place for you to get your premium possessed sugar. Just don't let him see you. Whatever you do, don't let him see you. So the torso, onto the torso. The torso I sculpted out of monster clay. And then this is footage of me removing the teeth from the finished sculpt and trying to track where those teeth went. Like a dental record for a torso. I made a plaster mold out of the monster clay sculpt.
Fun fact. Fun fact. There are some creatures with teeth in their torso. I may not be one of them. Thankfully, I only eat vegetables and meat. He, and yes, that is as gay as it sounds, because I'm not thinking before I open my mouth. So, yeah, some creatures do have teeth in their mouth, which which I was surprised. There was a weird noise outside. Let me turn off my fan for a minute. Yeah, there was a weird noise outside that distracted me. Like, did you know that goldfish have teeth? I never knew that until like a couple months ago. And if you don't believe me, look it up. Um, oh, and then they also want to legalize weed all over the world. Well, and yeah, um, yeah, Article 34, er, um, Article 34 will also prove that. If you need further information, just look up Rule 34.
And then once the plaster was dry, I removed the sculpt from the mold, and then, don't you know, I poured lovely liquid latex into that plaster mold. And once we removed
Liquid
the latex,
latex.
we were left with this.
I actually
Which I
kind of
then
miss
painted, of course.
materials,
Lots of
man.
painting.
Like,
Painting. Painting
hello.
for this one took a long time. I had to paint all the little individual fleshy veins. It
Yeah,
took a
and
long
we
time. I
appreciate
think it
him
looked
going
pretty
the
good when
upper
it
and
was
extra
done.
mile.
And then I glued the teeth back in. And I don't know if I filmed that. Did I film it?
No,
I guess not. The making of the
I guess not.
extrusion, I didn't film. But you can rest assured that it involved a lot of liquid latex and cotton wool. So I had to improvise a little bit on the day when filming the torso. The original plan was to have the extrusion out of the mouth and then pull it in and then play that in reverse so it looks like it's bursting out. But every time I tried to pull it in, it would tear the teeth off the torso and it would get stuck. I hadn't made the mouth wide enough. So I had to keep gluing the teeth back in, which is difficult when the whole torso is covered in slime as well. You can't really glue on slime, so it just didn't really work. So I green screened everything separately. I green screened the torso shaking, the extrusion shooting up, and then I took a clean plate at the back of me going, oh, and then comped it all together in After Effects. Like this. And of course, the butter was real butter in the butter sack. And I forgot about it for 3 weeks, and when I discovered it, I was greeted by a sack full of rancid butter. My rancid butter
Ew.
sack. Which was nice to deal with.
A rancid butter sack.
So this is exactly what we wanted. And here's our butter.
And here's our
So
butter.
next, onto that egg. The egg of Kluglash, the inconceivable. So the egg...
Glash, the inconceivable. Man, if I'm ever going to have a demon in my room, I want that motherfucker to be conceivable. Well, I don't want to have to left wandering and mad just trying to ponder a form that's unponderable. That's unfathomable. What the fuck?
egg I sculpted out of polymer clay. I first started with a ball of tin foil, which I covered in a thin layer of polymer clay and baked, so I had a hard base to work on top of. And I made the first half of the egg, sculpted all the little lettering in, and then baked that. That way, if that was solid, I wouldn't damage it when I was making the next half of the egg that I sculpted out of polymer clay and then popped in the oven to bake as well. And then when everything was solid and cooked, I then painted it with a red paint oil wash. And then when that was dry, to make
That does
the
not look
lettering
red, it
all
looks brown.
dingy and bleedy, I mixed some epoxy resin with red paint and dabbed that.
That
on
looks
so
like
in
blood.
That set, it looked like bleedy letters, little bleedy letters. How cute! And when actually filming with the egg, I had to film the
It is
first
kinda
set
cute.
of shots with the egg intact, and then I got a hacksaw and cut the egg in half and painted the inside of the egg to then do the shots where I pour the contents out. Still full of contents.
Contents.
So
What are
beastie
the
from inside
contents?
the egg
Hold
was a bit
on.
more challenging. I wanted to give some movement to the worm spawn, but couldn't use stop motion like I would have done previously.
The worm spawn. Why is that why is that a funny word to me? The worm spawn. I'll try to pause it as less as possible.
Because he's sat in a puddle of liquid, and you can't really use the stop motion around the goo. It wouldn't really work. So I tried my hand at very basic animatronics. So I found a 3D print for a tentacle segment on the website Thingiverse, made by the user Glock. Shout out to Glock. Thank you.
Glock.
My hero.
My hero. A Glock. My hero's a common house rat. Earth rat. I could be from a fifth dimension.
I essentially printed off like 15 of these segments and clicked them all together, and then threaded a fishing line down the holes on each side, and then when you pulled a bit of the fishing line, the tentacle would
Oh, that's how
waggle
it
about
works.
in the appropriate direction.
Waggle.
Tentacle waggle. So I glued this
This
tentacle
is a
mechanism
tentacle waggle.
into the latex worm I'd made. I drill a hole in the bottom of the mixing bowl and push the fishing line through,
Huh.
and then we were good to go. You pulled the fishing line and the worm would waggle a little bit. So this was only my first attempt at very basic animatronics, and movement was very limited. The worm would just kind of curl up and extend. I think the real issue was that the mechanism was just too small for the thickness of the skin of the worm. So you try and pull this mechanism, and the latex was so stiff that it would just go meh. You wouldn't get that full range of motion. And I think in the future I'll actually build my own animatronic from scratch, just to custom build it for what I actually need it for. So I just wanted to take a quick mid-video pause and take a moment to mention my Patreon page. So did you know that on my Patreon there's new monthly...
Did you know? Speaking of did you know that in terms of male human Pokemon interaction,
sketches featuring characters from past videos that are long forgotten, such as the small men named Kevin and Deerface.
Kevin,
and every month you can
Deerface.
vote to decide which Patreon video I'm going to make next. And I've also started some monster lore videos as well. Show clips.
Yo, Kevin.
Well, hello there. I'm a small door-to-door salesman named Kevin.
Kevin.
Little information is known about both the bird and the birdhouse. However, all instances of sightings always begin
That
first
actually looks
with
like an
contact with the
SCP.
birdhouse. This is believed to be a sort of test, which I will expand on later. I've had to limit the number of meaty creature thumbnail shoutouts at the end of the videos because they take a long time to make, but there's a limited number of those, so if you want one of those, then act fast. So if you want to support my videos, because YouTube sure as hell doesn't want to, head on over to my Patreon page and pledge for rewards. Hello, it's Will from a slightly later point in time. I just wanted to
Slightly
say
later
that
point
if you
of
did fancy
time.
supporting me and you didn't want to make the jump over to Patreon, then I've sorted out a couple of tiers of YouTube channel memberships that will allow you to watch the bonus comedy sketches and the Monster Lore videos and outtakes. I would say that you don't get access to the Patreon feed, so there's probably slightly less
I actually probably
interactivity,
would subscribe
but
to his
the option's
comedy
there
sketches.
if you want to support. Okay, thanks. Anyway, back to the video. And now we're on to the Flower Demon, which
The
was
Flower
the
Demon.
biggest piece of crap in the whole video. I hate you. So the puppet for the Flower
I hate
Demon
you.
consisted of a pair of fetching gloves, which I wore, and a static head.
Feckin'?
So the puppet for the Flower Demon consisted of a pair of fetching gloves, which I
Oh,
wore,
fetching.
and a static head.
I thought you said feckin'.
Which
I
was
like how things just like watch him in his own garage that he has unfortunately created. Look, I paused at the right time. He even looks uncomfortable. Oh, he's looked like he's looking around his room, making sure nothing comes alive.
biggest piece of crap in the whole video. I hate you. So the puppet for the Flower Demon consisted of a pair of fetching gloves, which I wore, and a static head that sat on a tripod. So to achieve the footage of the hands and the head rising out of the hole, I built a very rudimentary cardboard rig, and then covered that in chroma key paper.
Chroma key. Oh, green. Just be careful, mate. I know how dangerous knives are. I should know because I've been...
Hello there.
General Kenobi! General Kenobi!
Hello there.
Skinny penis.
So I then sat underneath the hole, and my hands emerged out of the top. And then I took separate footage of the head slowly rising out of the hole as well.
Oh.
And then removed the green screen and comped them together in After Effects. Finally, I had a little hole in the bottom of his mouth with a tube attached, and I filled the tube with tandoori masala powder to act as the demonic flower.
The demonic flower.
And then blew the curry powder out of the tube. But the main issue was comping the footage together. That was the problem. That was the fun bit. Ow, they're surprisingly sharp. gonna take this glove off. I had to take a
Keep it
monster
on.
and make it look like his hands were lowering into a static shot of a ring of flour when they had no physical interaction with each other. But I spent so much time on the digital side of these shots, and yeah, I'm still just not happy with them. I think they're the weakest shots in the whole video. But they
No.
cool interaction with each other. But
Hold on. Let me give actually my 2 cents here.
and they had no physical.
This right there, where it's clipping. Oh, I just spat all over my screen. Right here, where it's clipping right here, that is the bad part that he's focused on. But the second clip,
much time on the digital side of these shots,
it looks 1,000 times better.
and yeah, I'm still just not happy.
Even he even got the shadow. Like, look, hold on. He even got the like a little shadow effect, even from the candles. But this candle is not properly shining shadow. Either way it goes, it still looks good.
I think they're the weakest shots in the whole video. But there you go. But I learned how to do it wrong. So next time I'm bound to do it right. Right?
Teeth demon.
Now, onto the family favourite. The Devil's Udder. So the Teeth Demon was kind of tricky to build. Now, onto the family.
I thought it said teeth demon. I thought I misread that. The Devil's Udder.
And now, onto the family favourite. The Devil's Udder. So the Teeth Demon was kind of tricky to build, but not difficult to operate. You just know my good little Milky Boy wouldn't let me down, unlike some other demons that I can think of. Dick. So I actually built his body out of furniture foam, and then I glued a thinner layer over the top to make it look like loose, sagging skin. I made the latex teeth separately, and I think it's fair to say I devised a pretty ingenious plumbing system to get the milk flowing out of those teety buttes. It was 5 tubes that would then eventually join into one, and I poured the milk in one end, and it would split out of the 5 teats. And I hid the inlet for the tube at the back of his head, and I sculpted his crowns in Blender, 3D printed them, and then sprayed them bronze. And then he was ready for his big moment.
The Devil's Teats.
The magic of cinema. Obviously, I cut myself out of that a little bit. I'm so sorry. And then this is me pouring milk into the tube with a giant syringe. Look how the milk falls out of those teats at the bottom. That's a damn good teat plumbing system. You know it. It's the day after filming.
I hate that word teat.
And these teats are still dripping rancid milk.
How
Stinks.
much money would it take for you to drink from one of these? Me, you're gonna have to give me Elon Musk's annual wage 5 times over.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to clean this puppet.
And Mr. Beast video. And one Mr. Beast video.
So the batter monster is pretty simple. I just made a puppet out of furniture foam and latex, and then I cut a hole in the bottom of a mixing bowl, glued him in place, and then I operated him with one hand, whilst holding the bowl with the other. And then finally, the cake, which was pretty simple. I just made a furniture foam cylinder, which I coated with a mixture of liquid latex and flour, and then made a plaster mold of the sigil, which I poured latex into, and then when it had dried, stuck on top of the cake. And then I painted it all and added teeth. And there we have it. Oh yeah, and slime. For this video, lots and lots of slime.
Lots and lots of slime. Slime time.
So I think that's everything. Thank you for watching. And if you can check out the Patreon page, then I'd really appreciate it. But if not, then no worries. Okay, thank you, bye.
Alright, thank you, bye. God. I'm sorry. This one that my mouse is on right now, why does this look like the crackhead outside of my car door when I told him I didn't have any change and he watched me pay for my entire meal? I'm sorry, but that's just this one gives off a specific feeling every time I see it. I watch his YouTube channel. I'm obviously subscribed. Yeah, I'm subscribed to Mr. Will here. I just noticed that's his hand coming out of his own mouth. For a second, I thought it was just like a weird. Actually, no, I've been noticed that. Either way it goes, either way it goes, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you like, I hope you subscribe, and tell me why. There's one of them I wanted to like keep as a pet. Oh, I wanted to keep one of these abomination things as a pet. Why is there just a foot? Why did this one remind me of the fucking rabbits from Rabbit Invasion? This one halfway looks like a plumbus. Everyone needs a plumbus. You should know what a plumbus is. Hamster. What the fuck? Hey, look, it's flow shit. It's Sid, flow shit, Sid from the Ice Age, and Hamster. All right, but is that the last of the gross pals? Yep, it is. Okay. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you like. Maybe this video will be next because this looks interesting. And also this. The better drunk driver. Obviously me. Y'all probably can't even tell that I'm drunk right now. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you like, I hope you subscribe, and yeah, I'll see y'all on the next time. Goodbye.